426.21, waiting on Tesla earnings, everyone, and we're going to get them momentarily and then we'll update. Once again, it's going to be very volatile this week. Let it be known on this very day. Current bid now 738.10 by 738.42 pennies. All right, we have something going down right here, right now. It's printing 729.40 buys, 728, 730. There it is. There's that big red bar. That's what we call after hours earnings. It's a knee-jerk reaction to the price. We don't know exactly what's even going to happen yet. But once again, if you know what you're doing and how to get in down there at the bottoms, you can do it. And so, once again, I'll update everyone when I discover what the release is. Current price action. This is live, after hours, how to trade earnings. Sign up for that program. Get in the free trial. Get with Tesla. There are a lot of options that were traded today, everyone. And we can go through that in the second part. Here we are. We got a nice big fat green bar. It looks like it's going up. How about that? So, I still don't have a report. Knee-jerk reaction in play. Tesla preliminary number 93 versus 73 cents. That was IQ Capital Consensus, where it's for 10.39 billion versus 9.89 billion S&P IQ Capital Consensus on the revenues. And this is the reaction. Those pretty good numbers, if you ask me. That revenue, 10.39 billion versus 9.89 billion S&P. And once again, I just want everyone to understand this is a 1-minute chart, and that report that I am reading on the headline is a really good number for Tesla, because it is. And you can see it's moving up, but in other quarterly earnings with a headline number like that, Tesla would be up $40 in one print. And we're not seeing that in the price action. The actual intraday high of the day is 749.30. Okay, so there's going to be more to this report and how to trade, once again, after hour earnings. However, you would have gotten your call options or your put options, whatever you were buying in the option market, because that's what we do, relative to how the stock trades here and now. So this is what you want. And you want to see what that reaction in the price discovery of this report and the algorithms that are used, and many, many more. So, listen, when you get numbers like that out of Tesla, you would see those big pops like you did in 2020. But we already knew that you weren't going to get that. And this is the reaction to that report. I sure like how they beat on the revenue. I call that delivering. 10.39 billion versus 9.89 billion. And they popped it at 93 cents a share versus 73 cents a share. That's sounds like what, 20 cents to me. But look at the price reaction, my friends. Once again, option trading room is waiting on you. Yes, sir. And you will learn how to trade the reaction to what happens with Tesla as you see it now. Because in the morning, there's going to be upgrades, downgrades, and variable things of this nature. And the option market's going to move around crazy. And that's another thing I will do, is I will cover the call side and the put side of Tesla relative to where Tesla's intraday high was 749.30 pennies and the low was 732. So we're just back down where Tesla was at those lows, okay, of the day. So That was 732.61. Not a big deal. There's going to be a lot more talk about the future and what will happen. And either it will spike up dramatically and or trade back down. But we will find out and we will bring it back to everybody. 5 after hours, 7:25 by 7:25, 7:23, 7:24. So now you broke down right here in the 1 minute chart, my friends. And I will go over just a little bit of the options. So going into this report, we can go with the volume of options that were traded at that 7:30 call. There was 5,600 contracts there. There was 11,000 contracts. How about that? On the 7:35, 29,000 contracts on the 7:40 call. So yeah, how about this one, everybody? At that 7:50 strike price, 41,000 contracts. How do you like it? Here's another one, 47,000 contracts traded at the $800 strike. Yes, okay, this is not year 2020. And when we start seeing earnings with numbers, you know, because everybody's exaggerating that Tesla has problems when they don't. But look at those contracts now, they expire in 4 days. If you go out to May 7th, and we look at where the big volume was, we could see, yeah, there was some 4,000 in here, but you could see that people, only 1,800. You don't see that big a volume that you do right here in the April 30 volume, okay? And prior open interest wasn't that high to start with, my friends, okay? So one of the things that we just want to talk about, let me reset that, is Tesla right now hit that intraday low here as we see it. There's going to be a conference call next, and one of the issues is going to be, well, what happened with cars driving on China roads in Chinese territory on their highways. Now, the other issue is that accident in Texas with the 2 unfortunate deaths that happened in that car. From what I read, I believe the people were going 74 miles an hour. But once again, what we are going to really examine is the conference call, the call side, which I just showed, and this is a lot of volume. And that 750 call, boy, they loaded up there. They loaded up on the 730s, the 735s. So basically, the stock is flat right about where those options, and there were, you know, the 750 calls up and out of the money they were bought and whatnot. And this is a different type of earnings cycle this time around. We've seen what happened with Netflix and how it came, and other ones as well. Now, Tesla is the best of the breed no matter what. And all the people worry, because that's what they're going to be concerned with, are those 2 main issues I discussed. So we'll get back once the conference call. This is the knee-jerk reaction in price of how earnings trade in the after-hours market. And we would love to have you join us because it would behoove you to do that. And you'll get to go through it just like you are right now watching the video, except you'll be with me live right here, right now. And you will. And the beautiful thing about it is that going into these earnings, and you will have to know what you're doing in that option market. And I just showed you what the general public was doing, and now it's 729, okay? Because the conference call could move it right up once they address the issues that the analysts are going to ask them during that time frame. Then once that happens, you could see another initial price spike, up or down. It works both ways, my friends. So, is the good news a sideways consolidation price on a good report? Because those issues will get cleared up. And just remember, Tesla is still the bellwether and all of their other stuff. But there's going to be, and they beat the earnings now. And they did. So everybody just needs to understand what happens. And this is one of our documentaries on the Tesla earnings today.
Deliveries by the end of this year. So not much change with the guidance.
Laura, what stands out for you, and what are your key questions for the call coming up?
I don't think we have our audio. We'll work on fixing it, Laura.
We'll fix Laura's audio. Garrett, to you, what is the key question for the analyst call coming up?
Well, it looks like the stock is very little changed here at post-release, which is a bit surprising given the magnitude of the beat. One thing, just looking quickly through the release, is they weren't real specific on the full year deliveries guidance. So, but we think that's intentional. After their experience last year, in which their guidance was for sales of 500,000 units, and with all of the issues that came up and all the headwinds they faced with COVID and the shutdown of their main factory in Fremont, California for almost 2 months, it put an enormous amount of pressure on Elon Musk and on the workers to really execute to hit that guidance, which they just barely did. So, we think that's intentional. It gives them a little more flexibility. And we know there are still part shortages, particularly semiconductors, that are affecting Tesla and other automakers.
Laura, I think we fixed your audio, and I was eager to hear what you were going to say. I mean, because you write about this all the time. What are the key questions facing Musk and Tesla at the moment?
I always think about how Tesla can maintain its competitive edge with so many new battery electrics coming to market from Audi, VW, Ford, you name it, is some of these upstarts like Rivian. And the fact that they are growing sales more than 100%, year over year for the same period, but only grew their mobile service fleet and their service centers by like 22 to 28%. It's a sign that they have a lot of cars out there, but the customers who remain frustrated with long wait times for service, that's a sort of an attack vector for competitors. And I always notice that in operational details.
Laura, should we expect any comments on the recent crash in Texas or not?
I wouldn't expect them to comment on an ongoing investigation during the earnings call, but they might speak to progress on and, hurdles with developing the automated driving systems, which are not autonomous, but are level 2 automated driving systems, so advanced driver assist.
Are they still making money, Garrett, on these credits as the other automakers ramp up the competition? Shouldn't they need it less?
They are, and it's a very important source of earnings, not only revenue, but earnings, because you think of it, there's basically no cost associated with that revenue, and they've been increasing, that line item has been increasing significantly in recent quarters. So, it's always a question. That's right. That's right. So, no, we think it actually increases over time.
Interesting. Garrett Nelson, thank you for joining us. Laura Kolodny, to you as well. Let's send it over now back to Mike Santoli for a look at where analysts stand on earnings season so far. Mike.
Yeah, Sarah, this is another way to really just gauge analysts' aggregate enthusiasm for the stocks they cover. So essentially, it's the split of buy.